Time trials. The shortest stages, but the longest days. Today's race against the clock is just 12 minutes of pain, but a whole day of preparation, planning, and waiting. We've been given behind-the-scenes access by Bahrain Merida to follow the team and their star rider, Vincenzo Nibali, as he sets out to win a third Giro d'Italia. For a pro rider, the final days leading up to the start of a Grand Tour are long. The training has been done, and there's nothing left to do but soak up that workload, rest, eat, but not too much, do the odd interview, and then just wait. Today's the day they finally get to start. After their ride, the riders sit down for a light lunch ahead of the time trial in the afternoon. They don't want anything too heavy or hard to digest ahead of the really intense effort to come, or they might see it again. Post-lunch, the riders will head to the start in the team cars. The bus went to the start early this morning to get their space, set up their trainers, and get organised.
Vincenzo, ma è stressante iniziare il giro con un cronometro di 8 km?
No, anzi, è abbastanza tranquillo un cronoprologo. È chiaro, bisogna farlo molto bene, però per il momento sono tranquillo, poi in gara sicuramente entrerà la tensione.
Hai mangiato leggero? Sei andato leggerino al
sì,
pranzo?
il giusto, normale.
La gamba com'è?
Un pochino di pasta, un omelette, normale, ormai non è che c'è da fare
ormai
tanto.
È la prassi, esatto.
Sì. Quello che doveva essere fatto è stato fatto prima, dalla preparazione a tutto, quindi speriamo di far bene.
Bisogna solo menare a tutto adesso?
Adesso abbiamo fatto più o meno il calcolo del tempo che va dai 13 ai 14 minuti circa, quindi quelli dovrebbero essere più o meno i tempi.
È quello,
Sì.
Grazie Vincenzo.
Ciao.
Dai, ci vediamo dopo.
We're driving with the team to the start of the time trial now. And if you're wondering why Nibali, Pozzovivo and Caruso are heading to the start early, well, it's because they're starting early, which is unusual because normally the big names in time trials start towards the end of the field. However, today it's a bit different because, well, it looks all right now, but there's actually a thunderstorm forecast for later on, and consequently, the big name riders don't want to be at a disadvantage to their rivals by potentially doing their time trial in the rain when their rivals might get a dry run. So they're trying to miss the rain by starting early. So when we get there, Tom Dumoulin is the first off the ramp. He's the favourite potentially for today because, well, he won the Giro 2 years ago and he's a time trial specialist. And then 8 minutes after that, it's Nibali's turn. Some of the riders, including Vincenzo Nibali, have gone off to recon the course. Now, although they've been reconning the last couple of days, and many of them will be familiar with the final climb as it features in the Giro d'Emilia, this is going to be the first time they can actually ride the course in its entirety on closed roads, because part of the early section actually features a one-way street. Those of you who saw our recent Giro d'Italia time trial tech video on GCN Tech will be aware that Bahrain Merida is in possession of the coolest and fastest team car, a McLaren 570S Coupe. But the relationship they have with McLaren goes far beyond just having the coolest team cars. So to find out more, earlier I spoke to John ALLERT, who's the managing director of pro cycling at McLaren. McLaren is now partnered with Team Bahrain Merida, but I'm guessing that relationship goes a bit beyond just having the coolest team cars in the peloton. Can you tell us a little bit more about how it's working?
Yeah, sure. So this is a joint venture that's been founded out of a joint love of racing, and this of course is an amazing heritage-filled sector of racing, but it's also an area that we think has fantastic opportunity for innovation. And so we want to bring the technology and innovation that we've forged over 50 years in Formula One and see if we can likewise apply that to this great team in this fantastic sport.
Well, it sounds amazing. Sounds like an ideal partnership. But today's a time trial. So, in the context of that, how would McLaren try to benefit the team and improve the performance?
Yeah, well, a time trial is a perfect example. So, we're looking for milliseconds of performance, just like every other team, in the same way that we do in Formula One. So, aero becomes fundamental. We've been working with Rudy Project on a new aero helmet that you'll see Vincenzo wearing later today. But also in terms of course mapping, looking at strategy, trying to understand the best relationship between man and machine. These are obviously time trial bikes, and that means they're very, very specific in terms of their optimal performance. And so we're looking to quantify what that optimal performance is to make sure we're always improving.
Well, I'm a total aero and tech nerd, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the relationship develops. But thanks for your time.
Fantastic, thank you.
Prior to the race, the riders warm up next to the team truck behind me. You can see Vincenzo on his turbo now, and it's a really hot day today, so it's nice because the team truck actually has an awning that comes out so he can warm up in the shade. Now, all the riders warm up at different times because they all start at different times in a time trial, sometimes hours apart. And then the warm-up is carefully timed and sequenced so that it times up perfectly with their allotted start time. So Vincenzo will be doing a 20 to 30 minute warm-up, which he aims to finish 10 minutes before his allotted start time, whereupon he'll get off and he'll ride to the start, which is about 600 meters over there. You can feel the pressure starting to build now, but Vincenzo looks incredibly calm and collected. I'd be a complete nervous wreck with all these people around and the pressure of the race, but I guess he's an old hat at it, having won the race twice before. We're in the area behind the start ramp of the time trial. You'll have to forgive the noise because the atmosphere here is electric. There's helicopters and crowds and everything. But this is really cool because here you can see things that you don't normally see on the TV coverage. So behind me are the UCI officials, and that's a special jig that they're using to measure the bikes and check that they comply with the rules and athletes don't have tri-bars that are too long or their saddles too far forwards. And they also have a special iPad device which they're using to search for hidden motors. So Nibali's just having his bike checked over by the officials, but it all seems to be good. And then over here behind me is a holding area. So once athletes have come over from the truck, they can do a little warm up here. There's rollers there. They also have a soigneur from each team here who gives the riders water or energy drinks or a towel if they need it. And then it's the moment where they have to start the race of truth. They head up onto the ramp through there, and they just wait a few seconds behind the screen, and then they step out with their bike. And then, well, you can hear the countdown clock behind me, and they're off.
Andiamo, mira la moto davanti, concentrato, via così. Vince i riferimenti, guarda avanti e via. Se hai caldo butta via la visiera, tranquillo, via, via, 250 metri, volata in posizione, tutta Vince. Via. Primo, ha battuto DUMOULIN, 13-17. Miglior tempo è DUMOULIN, è andato più piano.
Ma tutto DUMOULIN.
Miglior tempo Vincenzo, hai battuto DUMOULIN intanto, bravo Vince.
Bravo.
Nibali has completed his run and he's had a good one. He beat one of his biggest rivals, Tom Dumoulin, posting a quicker time, and he was only just behind one of his other big rivals, Primož Roglic, by 23 seconds. His time was 13:17 for the 8-kilometer course, so very fast. Now he'll be coming back here so that he can do his warm down, then he'll go back to the hotel, have a massage and some dinner, because tomorrow he's got to do it all again. 205 kilometers tomorrow. Ridiculous. And that's only just the beginning. There he is. All that remains to say is I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as we have being here, because the atmosphere is absolutely incredible. And a massive thanks to Team Bahrain Merida for giving us the behind-the-scenes access. It's been brilliant. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to GCN if you haven't already. And to see a video all about Vincenzo's time trial bike, click down here.